under production, though we still have some other information to look at. Now, before we start, I would request one of you there to give us an opening prayer, of course, a brief prayer. If you are willing, please put up your hand and then you give us an opening prayer. Okay, thank you. Bridget, you can you can unmute yourself.
Let's pray. Father, I thank you for this day. I thank you for as we're going to attend this lesson. I thank you for you're going to guide us through, and everything that the teacher is going to teach us, we're going to understand. In Jesus' name I've prayed and believed. Amen.
Amen. Thank you so much for that wonderful prayer. So we are picking up from where we stopped the other time. But before we look at before we look at what I have for you today, I would like us to remind ourselves of what we looked at the other time. We, of course, started the production and we looked at a lot. But the last subtopic I remember was the role of capital towards economic development. If you remember, the role of capital towards economic development. So that is what we looked at, and we looked at the role of capital. We explained each and everything. So we are still looking at capital. But capital under a subtopic known as factors of production. Under factors of production, we looked at land. We are done with land, and then we started capital. We looked at different things under capital, but we still have to look at capital. We still have a lot more about capital. And let me share the screen and then see what we are going to be looking at today. Okay. So the topic is production, as you can see. The topic is production, as you can see. We started with the production in our first phase. And yes, it is a wide topic. We are still looking at production, as I've already told you. So under production, we started the subtopic known as factors of production. And under factors of production, we looked at land and we are done with land. So we started the capital, still looking at the capital as a factor of production. So today, this is what we are going to be looking at, capital accumulation. Having looked at the role of capital in development, we are now going to look at capital accumulation or formation, okay? Capital accumulation or formation. This is what we are going to look at today. So I will explain capital accumulation or formation to you, and then after that, you will try to also give me, okay, a moment. Okay. All right. So we are looking at capital accumulation or capital formation. And this is how we are defining capital accumulation. Simply, we look at the increase in the stock of capital. The increase in the stock of capital. We are looking at increasing. The moment you talk about capital accumulation, look at increase in the stock of capital. We may not look at, okay, increase in the stock of capital. Capital can be producer goods. Capital can be producer goods. So the moment there is an increase in the stock of producer goods, okay, an increase in other forms of capital, we refer to that as capital accumulation. We can only, so we can only achieve this by buying more capital goods, purchasing more capital goods. The moment we purchase more capital goods, then we refer to that as capital accumulation. A country like Uganda, of course, is a less developed country where we cannot produce producer goods. We cannot produce capital goods. We only buy them from the developed countries. So the moment we get more capital goods from the developed countries, then what we've achieved is what we refer to as capital accumulation. Okay, so here, if I'm to define it for you, if I'm to read it for you, it refers to the increase in the stock of capital or producer goods over time. This is achieved through purchasing of capital goods, which increases the country's capacity to produce more goods. So the moment you get the capital goods, then the capacity to produce more goods is also increasing. Okay, so that is what we refer to as capital accumulation. But remember, if I'm to take you a little bit back, you can see our subheading there. We have capital accumulation or capital formation. You understand? Capital accumulation or capital formation. Then the question is, what about capital formation? There it is. So here we look at creating a capital stock now. Okay? Creating a capital stock. How would you create a capital stock? Of course, by investing. When you invest, you create more capital stock. So here we are looking at a process of creating a capital stock in an economy, mainly through investment. So there is a difference there. The other one talks about increasing the stock of capital or producer goods. Here we are looking at creating. You invest, okay? When you invest, you get money, you save, you reinvest it. So the thing is, we are looking at creation of capital stock and a capital formation. Then there is also this explanation here that it involves the mobilization of funds or savings from the public by financial institutions and providing it to individuals who in turn invested to purchase capital goods. Okay. So I've actually been telling you, how do you form up capital? How would you form up capital? We said it by investing. But again, investment is not an easy task if you do not have enough money. Now, where do investors get the money from? In this case, we look at the financial institutions. Financial institutions do provide loans to investors. And then these investors will keep on purchasing capital goods. So at the end of the day, we are forming up capital. Okay. Okay. Now, before we look at a lot about capital accumulation, we have some concepts that we normally use when looking at capital. Okay, some concepts we use when looking at capital. So we also need to look at these concepts. The moment we look at these concepts and understand them, then we shall look at more about capital accumulation or capital formation. Oh, someone is saying I'm not hearing. I don't know whether it is a general problem. You can tell me whether I am loud and clear. One person should unmute. Can you hear me very well? For example, Proscovia, unmute. Can you hear me very well? Yes?
Yeah, I can.
Okay, good. So I think people can hear me. I don't know what could be the problem for someone here who is saying I can. Yeah, people here are saying they can hear me very well. Kiravo says yes. Then Joy says yes. I think Lina, I don't know. Check your gadget. Something might be your side, not this one. Try to check your gadget. I think I'm loud and clear. Okay. Okay. All right. Yeah, people here are saying they can hear me very well. Okay, Mildred is also saying they can hear me very well. Okay, thank you for that. So we are saying we also have other concepts to look at, okay? Concepts to do with the capital. And in economics, these concepts are so much important because we bring them in section A. and never afford to miss a mark in section A. We need to maximize all the marks in section A. 20 out of 20, we take all the marks. So this is how we get answers in section A. We look at these concepts. A question might arise asking you to distinguish between capital accumulation and capital formation. You understand? So there are 2 marks. So you might miss these 2 marks if you are not well conversant with the different concepts. So other concepts to look at, there is this concept here. There is what we call capital appreciation. Capital appreciation. The way you see it, it talks about gaining or increase in the value of capital. Increase in the value of capital. Capital gaining the value. That is it. The moment capital gains the value, that is what we refer to as capital appreciation. Okay? So the moment capital gains value, I believe people have got that very well. Okay, so I believe people have got that very well. So the moment we talk about capital appreciation, we are looking at gaining value. Okay, the value of capital goods. The moment we gain the value of capital goods, that one is referred to as in capital appreciation. So if I'm to read it here, it refers to the gaining or increase in value of capital goods or an asset over time. The gain of value of capital goods or an asset over time. You understand? So we can have okay, but the point I'm driving home is looking at capital, the capital that you got with the low value. The moment it gains value, we call that capital appreciation. We have this other concept. I believe that one is clear. We have this other concept there. It is, and this is the capital depreciation or capital consumption. Now, before I even tell you what it is all about, put it into your mind that this is the opposite of the first concept I've just given you, the opposite of capital appreciation. And this is the capital depreciation. So I believe people now know, even if I've not explained it. The moment I tell you it is the opposite of capital appreciation, you now know. The first one was talking about gaining value. What about this one? Decreasing value. You understand? So this one talks about decrease in what? In value. And if I'm to read it for you here, it goes, it refers to the decrease in value of capital due to wearing and tearing out in the process of production. Due to wearing and tearing out in the process of production. So we are looking at capital. Let us look at capital in terms of a car. Capital in terms of a car. You buy a car when it's new, but the moment you use it, the moment you keep on using it, it keeps on losing value. It keeps on wearing out. It keeps on, and as it wears out, it loses the value. This is what we call capital consumption or capital depreciation. Capital is being consumed. Capital consumption. Capital is depreciating. You understand? So here we look at a decrease in value of capital as a result of producing or as it produces goods and as it produces goods. So we have this other information here. Now there is also what we call capital consumption allowance. Okay, capital consumption allowance. Here we are looking at the amount of money put aside to repair the worn out machines. Are you getting it? Money put aside to repair the depreciated capital. Are you getting the point? Money put aside to repair the car if we are looking at the car as our capital. You understand? So here we are saying amount put aside to cater for repairs or maintenance of capital is referred to as capital consumption allowance. You understand? An allowance put aside to cater for the depreciating capital. So we also have this other concept to talk about. There is what we call capital progress. Just look at the word progress. Capital progress. You understand? Capital progress. The moment you look at that, we are looking at improvement in the quality of capital. Improvement in the quality of capital. But how do you improve the quality of capital? You only improve the quality of capital by inventing, by innovating. You understand? So innovations and inventions improves the quality of capital. So the moment you improve the quality of capital, then that is what we refer to as capital progress. Okay? Capital progress. I believe people have got that very well. Any question about what we've looked at so far, you can put up your hand and then I attend it to you. If you've got any, you can just put up your hand and then I also clarify something to you, that is if you feel something is lacking. All right, so should I assume we are all comfortable? Okay. Hey, you've lowered your hand. Okay, okay, Bridget. Yes, Bridget.
Sir, I was asking, how comes that on the heading you put capital accumulation stroke formation, but the definitions are different?
Oh, the definitions are different. So
yes.
It is capital accumulation or formation. You understand?
Yes. So if
capital accumulation and formation, there is some similarity there, though a little bit different. Are you getting the point? So what we are going to look at as our main subtopic is capital accumulation or capital formation. Are you getting the point? So the factors we are going to look at, we'll be looking at capital accumulation, capital formation. We will be concurrently using the two concepts because they almost mean the same thing. So there is that slight difference. Have you got my argument now?
Yes.
So we are looking at the capital accumulation, capital formation in general, but the two are slightly different, though we are concurrently going to be discussing that too. Okay?
Okay, sir.
Yes, thank you for that. Okay. Then I have Joy. You can unmute yourself.
Yes, sir.
Yes, I think you have a question.
Sir, my question is, I understood the capital, but this capital progression I've not got it very well.
You've not got capital formation very well?
Can you hear me?
Yes, it's as if you are saying you've not got capital formation very well. Is it the question?
Excuse me?
Are you saying you've not got capital formation very well? Joy.
So I was asking for more elaborations about capital progression.
Capital progression.
I mean, elaborate it for me.
Capital progression.
Yes.
Or capital progress. Okay.
Yeah, progress,
okay.
I mean, sorry.
Okay. Thank you. Let me try to help you here. Now, Joy wants more explanation about capital progress. Capital progress, I've already told you, we are looking at improving the quality of capital. The word progress, capital progress, means improving the quality of capital. The moment you improve the quality of capital, then we call that capital progress. But again, how do you improve capital? By making research. And when you make research, you discover new technologies, new techniques, and then you apply them to the already existing capital. Are you getting the point? You make research you discover new technologies, and then apply them to the already existing capital. By doing that, you are improving the capital that is already in existence. So the moment you do that, you are actually doing what we call capital is progressing. Once you do that, capital is progressing. You are helping capital to progress. So let me assume I've tried to explain it more for you. Okay? I think you've got the point very well. Joy, have you got the point very well?
Yes, yeah.
Okay. So that is all about capital progress. And okay, I have someone using TechnoSpark. You can unmute.
So I would like to know if capital depreciation is the same as capital dependence.
Capital dependency. No, they are not the same. Capital dependency. They are not the same. Capital depreciation, we are looking at capital losing value. Capital losing value as a result of wear and tear in the process of production. Okay? So they are not the same. Okay. Okay. So I believe I've tried to answer everyone there. Now let us try to, let me see from the chat. Okay. So we have tried to, we've tried to look at these other concepts. We've looked at capital appreciation, we've looked at capital depreciation, we've looked at capital the same as capital consumption. We've looked at capital consumption allowance and then capital progress. Okay, now, as I've already told you at the beginning, that we are going to look at capital accumulation. We are going to look at capital formation in details. Capital accumulation, capital formation, in details. And now here we are looking at factors that affect all influence, all determining capital accumulation or capital formation. Remember, I told you we are concurrently going to use these two words, capital accumulation, capital formation. You understand? We are concurrently going, because they are almost the same, though slightly different. And we've seen that slight difference when we were introducing. So we are now going to look at factors that affect all influence, all determining capital accumulation. When you look at that subheading there, the heading is neutral. Neutral. What do I mean? We've got words like affect. We've got words like influence, words like determine. Are you getting it? So meaning that, meaning that we are having a neutral subheading there, meaning that the factors will be explained in a neutral way. We are not looking at a biased subheading, no. So factors influencing, factors determining, factors affecting, okay? Capital accumulation. Now, before I actually give it, okay, I have a hand here. Kiravo, you can unmute yourself.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes,
I'm sorry,
please.
I'm taking you back behind, but someone asked about capital dependence being the same as capital depreciation. And you said that they're not the same. So can you please give us the definition of capital dependence?
Okay, now capital dependency. Capital dependency. Where have you got that? Capital dependency. I don't know that I've come across that in one of the notes we give. Now, before, okay, who actually came up with that concept? Let me try to see. I think it is, okay, someone using TechnoSpark. Yes, you can unmute and then tell us where you got that.
Teacher, I have it as capital dependency refers to as a decrease in the value of assets or capital. Capital
dependency.
Yeah.
Capital dependency. Maybe someone wrongly wrote that. Maybe someone wanted to write about a capital depreciation and then wrote a dependency. You understand? So, capital dependency, surely I don't understand that. And it can't be the decrease in value. It cannot. Okay? So, I'm not so sure about that. And that is why I'm saying I don't know where you got that from. Okay. People are saying, like Brand says, she thinks it was a mistake. I think it was because okay, let me see, Pamela. You can unmute yourself.
So I've checked on Google, yeah? Yes, are you hearing me?
Yes, I can hear you.
And they're talking about foreign capital dependence. Like we depend on capital from a foreign country.
Okay, now that is the issue. Foreign capital dependency. That one is understandable. You understand? Foreign capital dependency. But the moment you say capital dependence alone, it does not make sense. That is why I was saying, I don't understand that. Are you getting it? But when you say foreign capital dependence, it is even self-explanatory, depending on foreign capital. Are you getting it? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
But the other one I think was not written correctly. Okay. Okay. All right. So I think the one who has capital dependence, check yourself. Try to get the right information. Otherwise, you might get confused somewhere. Okay. Right. So we are going back. We are going back to factors that affect or influence for determining capital accumulation or formation. Okay. Now, before I give you mine, I would like my factors. I would like to hear from you. Whoever has a point, you can put up your hand. We are ready to listen to your contribution here. Before I give you the factors I prepared here. All right, I have Pamela. You can unmute yourself.
Because our question is neutral, I'm going to talk about government policy.
Yes.
Yes, I'm hearing, teacher.
Yes, I can hear you very well.
Yeah. So government, how can government policy affect capital accumulation or formation? If the government taxes people highly. Yes, if the government taxes people highly and doesn't give subsidies to funds, then capital, okay, we won't have investors in the country. But if the government policies are favorable and the government offers subsidies and also has low taxation on funds and production, then it will be an incentive and it will attract investors into the country.
Hence, having an increase in capital. Okay, thank you, Pamela, for that. And You've actually brought it very well. You've looked at two sides of the point. Government policy about taxation, yes. If government highly taxes the investors, this discourage investors. And once investors are discouraged, then there will be action hence and vice versa. Lina, you can unmute. Lina, unmute yourself.
Yes, teacher. When my point
Yes, Lina, I
is
can.
the population growth rate and the structure. In this, I mean high population growth rate with many dependents will result into low savings and low levels of capital accumulation, while a low population growth rate with fewer dependents will result into high saving rates.
Okay. Thank you, Lina. Thank you, Lina. Lina is talking about population growth rate. If the population growth rate is high, surely the dependency burden will also be high, meaning that savings will be low and investments low, thus leading to low capital accumulation, and vice versa for a low population growth rate. Thank you, Lina, for that. Then Bridget, you can unmute yourself. Bridget, you can unmute yourself.
Yes, sir. Me, I'm going to talk about the point of size of the market. Large, like when there is a large market, there will be a lot of profit that will encourage more investors to invest more, hence hence leading to capital accumulation. While when the size of the market is low, this will lead to low profits and also discourage investors to invest more, leading to low capital accumulation.
Yes, thank you so much, Bridget. Thank you. We are looking at the size of the market. And once the size of the market is big enough, of course, it will encourage investors. And the moment we've got investors, then they will produce a lot and then you reinvest and capital will accumulate, and vice versa for a small market size. I have Mildred. You can unmute yourself.
Teacher, I'm talking about the level of technology used.
Okay.
When you use high advanced technology, the capital accumulation is high. Then when you use low technology, capital accumulation is low because it's associated with the production of low quality goods.
Okay, thank you, Mildred. Mildred is talking about technology. Automatically advanced technology leads to high levels of output. And as a result, more will be sold, more money will be earned, reinvested, and then capital accumulates, and vice versa. Thank you, Mildred. I have Vivian. Vivian, you can unmute. Vivian. Vivian. Okay, I think Vivian has issues. Okay, I think Vivian has issues there. Okay, I have, I don't know that Pamela, you are giving us, okay, Pamela, are you giving us another point?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I'm talking about the political climate.
Yes.
When the political climate is stable in a country, investors won't be afraid because their lives are not put at threat. So they will be attracted and comfortable to come into our country and start investing.
Yes.
And on the other hand, if the political climate is unstable, then we won't have investors coming into the country because they'll be afraid to lose their lives and also make losses in case. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Pamela, you are talking about the political climate, but before I give more light, Pamela says that she cannot unmute. You can try. No, not Pamela, sorry. This, who was it? There is someone who was, okay, let me see, a moment. Okay, I think it's Vivian. Vivian says she cannot unmute. Let me try to see. Okay, Vivian, try to unmute yourself.
Teacher.
Yes.
I want to give a point of level of saving.
Okay.
The higher the level of saving, the higher the level of capital accumulation because of increased investments, and the lower the rate of saving, the lower the level of capital accumulation due to reduced investment.
Okay, thank you for that contribution, Vivian. Thank you. Vivian looks at investment, I mean savings. But before, okay, Vivian looks at savings. Of course, when a country cannot save enough, then that country will never invest. Because the investment is a function of savings. Without savings, investments cannot take place. And without investments, capital accumulation cannot take place because capital accumulation is a function of investments. I think we are getting each other, meaning that capital accumulation depends on investments and investments depend on savings. Are you getting the point? And the savings depend on the income levels. Okay, but anyway, here specifically one was talking about savings. Okay, once savings are low, then capital accumulation will also be too low. Then I have Joy. Try to unmute
Yes, sir.
yourself.
I'm talking about the point of favorable climate.
Okay.
As the favorable climate that encourages people to carry out investments, while when there is unfavorable climate, it discourages people from carrying out investments, hence leading to low capital accumulation.
Yes, thank you so much, Joy. Joy talks about the climate. And once there is poor investment climate, then investors will never invest in such a country. And once investors have not invested in such a country, output will be too low, leading to low incomes, low savings, and low investments. And at the end of the day, low capital accumulation. Okay, I have Alicia. Mbabazi?
Yes, sir.
I'm
going to talk about the point of labor skills.
Okay.
High level of labor skills increases the labor activities and efficiency, which encourages further production, hence high levels of capital accumulation, while low levels of labor skills lead to low levels of production and efficiency, which discourages production, hence low levels of capital accumulation.
Yes, thank you. Yes, thank you so much for that point. Low levels of labor skills, of course, lead to low capital accumulation, and then high labor skills, high when labor has got skilled labor is efficient, and then at the end of the day, Production will also be high. Okay, and then high investment. Moment, please. Okay, I think a moment. Let me. Okay, I think it's here. Okay. So. Okay. I also have. I don't know whether Bridget, you didn't lower your hand, and Pamela. I don't know whether you are giving more points or you didn't lower your hands.
I'm giving another point.
Okay, you can.
Yeah, I'm talking about the level of existing capital stock.
Yes.
If the level of the existing capital stock is high, let's say that people have enough money to start investing, then they'll be able to get skilled labor, machinery, and that will lead to generating more profits. That is accumulating more capital.
Yes.
Whereas when the levels of existing capital stock are low, the people the producers or the owners of the farms won't be able to make research, they won't be able to access good machinery and also skilled labor, and this will lead to they won't be generating profits. That's
It will result in low capital accumulation. Okay, Thank you so much, whoever has contributed. Now, in the interest of time, let me also share with you what I have here. Okay. Yes, I can see people's hands are still up, but in the interest of time, I also have to share with you what I have here. Thank you for that contribution. Thank you for that. Now let us try to also look at what I prepared for you. There is that point there, level of incomes. Here we may not waste a lot of time. Of course, we are looking at when incomes are too low, savings will be too low, then investments low, then capital accumulation will also be low, and vice versa. So if I'm to read it for you here, high income levels lead to high level of savings and investment, thus high level of capital accumulation. Yet low income levels lead to low savings, thus limiting investments, which leads to low level of capital accumulation. So we are not wasting a lot of time there. We've talked about income levels. Someone brought that point, and I've already explained to you that. There is this other point here, population growth rate. Good enough, we have also talked about this point here. Okay, someone contributed.
Hello, teacher, can you check in the chat?
Okay. 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 Yes, I've seen that. And I will exactly do what you are saying. Okay. Okay. Yes, I've seen. All right. Okay. Mildred, I can see your hand up. You can unmute.
Excuse me, teacher. The point of level of incomes, is it the same as level of savings?
Level of savings. Actually, we can imagine that too. And then the better one should be level of incomes. Okay.
Okay, teacher.
Let us merge the two, and the best one should be level of incomes. Okay. So the point is population growth rate. I was actually telling you someone has already contributed this. Someone has given me this point, and I tried to explain this point. Okay. When the population growth rate is high, then the dependency ratio will also be high, savings level will be low, and then investments low, then capital accumulation will also be low, and vice versa. So we don't have time to go back to what we have already talked about there. So let us try to look at this other point here. And there it is. This one talks about level of capital inflow and outflow. Capital inflow coming in of capital. Capital outflow taking capital out of the economy, out of the country. And of course, capital inflow results into capital accumulation or leads to high capital accumulation. And then capital outflow leads to low capital accumulation. Okay, so I believe these points are clear. I am, briefly telling you or explaining simply because I am assuming people have got this information already because I've already explained some of these points. So we are looking, and by the way, when you find a point that you feel something is lacking, you want more explanation, feel free to put up your hand and then I give you more information about that point. So we have this other point here, which is the level of development of infrastructure. The level of development of infrastructure. So we are looking at infrastructure. And once infrastructure levels, the development level of infrastructure is high, like infrastructures are good, then that means there will be smooth running of business. And once there is a smooth running of business, there will be capital accumulation and vice versa for low development of infrastructures or for infrastructures that are not developed. Okay. I'm trying to rush, and this is because of the time. So I believe that point is also noted. Then there is the level of savings or level. Someone talked about a point of level of savings somewhere, but this one is explained differently. That is why it is even struck with the level of demonstration effect. So it can be level of demonstration effect or level of savings. But the thing is, savings is hidden in the demonstration effect. Are you getting it? Savings is hidden in demonstration effect. Here we are looking at what a friend is doing. When you want to spend just like those in the developed countries, you will never save. And if you do not save, you will never invest. I don't know that you've got the point. Demonstration effect. I'm looking at what someone else is doing. People in America driving very expensive cars. We should also drive very expensive cars. Demonstration effect. You understand? And you in a country that is just developing, the moment you behave like the other ones in the developing countries, you will never save. And then you will never invest. Capital will never be accumulated. So I think that point is driven home. Can you please explain for me more about capital inflow? Okay, someone wants more explanation about capital inflow. Briefly, inflow is bringing in capital. You understand? Investors coming in, bringing in capital, you understand? So if we've got many investors coming in, then we will have more capital in the country. But again, if we've got many people taking out money, you understand? Like what we call profit repatriation. Foreign companies in the country taking out a lot of money, then such a country will never increase its capital. Are you getting the point? So I believe I've tried to briefly explain that to you. Okay. Then I have this other point here. There is that one, existing rate of inflation. We are talking about persistent increase in the price levels. Once price levels are ever increasing, of course, no investor will invest in such a country. And once investors are not investing in such a country, then capital accumulation will be low. And vice versa for low levels of inflation. Are you getting the point? Vice versa for low levels of inflation. Then there is this other point here, the political climate. This one, someone talked about it and we spent a lot of time explaining. Okay. Okay, Lina was saying I've got the point. Thank you. Then we are looking at political climate. I've been telling you, someone talked about it, and we are looking at a favorable political climate and how it can lead to high capital accumulation, and then unfavorable political climate also resulting in too low levels of capital accumulation. Yeah, there is that point. Level of entrepreneurship. Are you getting it? So if we've got a high level of entrepreneurial ability, then automatically we are going to have more capital, or we are going to have capital accumulation. Entrepreneurial ability, we are looking at people's ability to organize other factors of production into the production process. If we've got so many people that can organize other factors of production into the production process, then more capital will be realized. And vice versa for low levels of entrepreneurial ability or for low levels of entrepreneurs. So I think that point is also noted. Yeah, I believe that point is also noted since there is no one. Yeah, there is that other point there, government policy on investment. Okay, of course, someone explained this, someone talked about this point. The moment government taxes highly the investors, they will never invest in that country. And then capital will never accumulate, and vice versa. Okay. Then we have existing stock of capital. Existing stock of what? Capital. Someone also gave this point. If the existing stock of capital, of course, is high, then we are expecting capital to also be like we are expecting capital accumulation, or we are expecting a lot of capital in, and then the levels will be high. Yeah. Then okay. Yeah, we are rushing. Then there is this other point here, level of accountability. Level of accountability and the transparency. If there is a lot of bureaucratic procedures, you know, like investors, if they are to come in, someone needs to be bribed and all that, then investors will be scared and they will never come to such a country. And then capital accumulation will be low. But if there is accountability and transparency, there is no bribes and all that, then more investors will be coming in into the country, and then production will be high, hence increasing capital. Then we have this other point, state of technology. And yes, we gave this point, someone talked about it, and I remember exhausting it also. Okay, better technology, advanced technology results into high production, hence more capital. And then when you've got poor and rudimentary technology, then of course capital accumulation will be low. There is that other point there. Okay, there is this other point here, degree of conservation. And once the degree of conservation, high degree of conservation results into low capital accumulation. Like you are reserving your resources. The moment you are reserving your resources, you'll never even bring in the advanced technology. And at the end of the day, capital accumulation will be low. But if there is no reserving resources, like you are exploiting resources at a very high speed or rate, then capital will be accumulated. So that is, then there is also this other point here. Land tenure system. Okay, land tenure system. If the tenure system is not clear and people cannot easily access land, then it will be hard for investors to invest and then accumulate capital. Okay. I don't from the chat. I don't. Okay, someone is talking about the factors relevant for economic growth. You can interpret, you can get some of them and take them the other side, because some of them can work the other side also. That is a very good observation, by the way. Okay. Thank you for that. Then there is this other factor here, level of monetization. Yes, if the degree of, if the level of subsistence, if a country has a very big subsistence sector, then there will be low output, and as a result, of course, capital will be too low. But of course, if there is money and people will be producing, investing, and at the end of the day, capital accumulation will also be high. Yes, market size. You remember someone talking about it, and a bigger market size, we said, leads to high levels of capital accumulation and vice versa. Now we are winding up because we are 2 minutes late, but let me try to give you this because it is even in an outlined format and it is very much important to us. Now, are you looking at this? Factors that limit or hinder capital accumulation in an economy. Factors that limit or hinder. This is a biased subheading. A subheading that looks at only hindering, that looks at only limiting, meaning that when you are stating a point itself must be bringing out the picture of the subheading there. You cannot talk about a point like, for example, you give a point like income levels, and you state it like that, income levels. You've already failed from the beginning. Are you getting the point? Because you want a point that is also biased. It shouldn't be income levels, then it should be low income levels for that purpose. If you want to talk about political climate, don't just bring it as political climate. Unfavorable political climate. You understand? So the point itself must be depicting the subtitle, like it is showing what the question is looking at. Okay. Now from there, we've got this information. Actually, the very points we've been looking at, they are coming back here. But this time we have a qualifier put on each and every point. For example, low income. The other side, we said low. We said income levels. Here we are saying low income. Okay. Then there is the high population growth rate. The other time it was only population growth rate. You understand? Here we have high levels of capital outflow. The other time we had levels of capital inflow and outflow. You understand? So this is how we go about it. Now I have a hand up. Yes. Unmute. Joy.
Yes, sir. Can we also talk about like the improved transport and communication when it comes to the factors influencing capital accumulation?
That is it. When we are looking at capital accumulation, okay, so we just change the qualifier now. What was low income becomes high income levels. You understand? What was high population becomes low population level. I think you've got the point. Okay. Okay. Now these are the points we are looking at, and the very points we've been looking at up there. You can see poor state of infrastructure, high demonstration effect. You can see they are the very points, but we have put a qualifier there that of course helps us to bring out the picture of the subheading. Okay, so these are the very points, and we've come to the end of lesson 1. We will be picking up from here the next time we meet, unless someone has something small to talk about. But okay, you can see a hand up here. Okay, Pamela, yes.
Excuse me, sir. I am just curious about a certain point you've not talked about, and it's the level of education.
The level of education. We talked about that. We talked about that. We brought it under skills.
Okay.
Remember? Yeah, skilled labor, unskilled labor. Yeah, we talked about it.
Education.
Yeah, education is the same as, because it is because of education that one gets the skills. Are you getting the point? So we brought that point under skilled and unskilled labor. We talked about it.
Okay, thank you, sir.
You're welcome. Okay. Yes, for today we are ending here. We are late already. Our time is up. So we will be picking up from here next time. That is on the same day, of course, Monday. But this time, let me just tell you this. We will be putting work in the Google Classrooms, okay? You just log on to the Google Classrooms. We will be putting work there, some assignments, of course, simple assignments, brief assignments there. You will be finding them there. So I also upload one there, and then you do it. I will mark it and then return it to you. Okay, so for now, we are ending here, and we will be picking up from here next time. So what I can say, Okay.